Time for the Sports Maven. We're here with Dennis from Coons Ford, who is one of the original sports mavens here in Baltimore. You look very good for being in New Orleans. How's the weather down there?
It's phenomenal.
So you excited about the game? What's the biggest part of the game you're looking forward to?
Just Ray Lewis, hoisting the Lombardi one more time, and Ed Reed and Suggs, and I can just see it now. It's just going to be a very emotional game, and I think the Ravens are just a desperate team, and they're going to do what it takes to win.
So your Ford dealership is right outside the Beltway.
It is.
And you must see thousands of people all week. Everybody wearing the purple, and you got the white Bolden jersey on today. But what's the mood been like in the showroom?
Been very festive. All of our employees are huge Ravens fans, and the customers coming in, everybody's decked out in purple and white and black, and it's just great for civic pride. We're just so very proud of the Ravens. It's a common thread that unites the entire city, the entire community.
All right. So you remember the United States?
I do. I'm an old young veteran, if that makes any sense.
So does this Super Bowl, this run to the Super Bowl, remind you more of 2000 or a Super Bowl in the past like Super Bowl V?
Well, definitely 2000, because just like in 2000, we went through a rough spell where nobody gave us a chance, and the team was able to pull it back together towards the end and go on an amazing run. And when you take out the number 1 and 2 seeds on the road, it's really something special. This
is Wayne Vine, and we're setting up for the Sports Maven here, looking forward to the Super Bowl. Ravens and 49ers tomorrow night. We're all excited here in the studio. We'll be back with Bruce and the gang in a few minutes.
Go Ravens!
That's right, they don't count. You know who else doesn't count? I'll tell you. First, we take care of Andrew Luck, all right, in Baltimore, Indianapolis. Then they travel to Denver, and they take care of the great Peyton Manning. Then they go to New England, and we take care of Mr. Belichick and Mr. Brady. And then, what do they try and beat the Ravens with? Deer antler spray, all right? The deer antler spray story, the biggest joke that there's ever been. Just by coincidence, the story breaks on Media Day. What a joke. This is Bruce Posner. You're listening to Coons Ford presents the Sports Maven, and this is our special Super Bowl preview show. Boy, do I love saying that, Dennis. And we also have Donald Science in today. I brought in the big guns for the biggest show of the year. Tomorrow's it. The talk is done. It's time to move on. Donald, I'm going to start with you today. Let's talk about deer antler spray, and they think that that can affect Ray Lewis and the Baltimore Ravens.
Let's talk about the lack of class of Sports Illustrated. How could they break a story that's so ridiculous? It's so ridiculous you can't believe it. And if you believed it, it's so innocuous. What are they talking about? Here's a man at the top of his career. This is one of the most emotional endings of a career ever seen. Rivals Cal Ripken's retiring, and Stan Musial's retiring, and Lou Gehrig's retiring. And here's one of the maybe the greatest player ever played in the NFL, because you got to take into account how rough his position is, and he lasted 17 years. And this is how they want to top off his career. Saying that he used antler spray 2 years ago and talked to somebody on the phone. This is total, no blood test, nothing. They just smeared his name. They tarnished his image. They tried to make him look bad. This has nothing to do with the game. This is just total lack of class.
But I think what it has been, and I know that Trent Dilfer said it, if they felt like this was going to disturb the Ravens, he says the effect could be the other way. You saw Ray Rice was almost in tears talking about it, that they try and get Ray Lewis any way they can. Everybody on the team, Torrey Smith looks up to Ray Lewis as almost like a father figure. Bernard Pollard, one of the toughest guys in the game, feels the same way. It goes right down the list. The Ravens are a band of brothers. This is not going to shake them. I find the whole thing almost hysterical. Dr. Roberto Salvatore, who runs a lab studying growth hormone deficiency and has been on the Hopkins faculty since '98, said there is no scientifically accepted way to deliver IGF-1 orally. This is a Hopkins doctor and this is what he does, that you can't deliver this thing in a spray. Well, now they got 5 Alabama football players took it before LSU. They got VJ Singh, who took a spray, had no idea what he was taking. And Ray Lewis, here, Ozzie said the perfect thing. He said, show me the positive test, and he won't play on Sunday. but there's never been a positive test on Ray Lewis. And the whole thing nauseates me, but it's funny. Baltimore always has had Ray Lewis's back. Ray Lewis knows that. Baltimore laughs at this. It's an absolute joke, and it's time to move on to the football game, Dennis.
Well, it's just one more thing for the team to rally around. They've had Ray's back ever since he announced that this will be his last ride, and now this just adds even more fuel to the fire. It's a pointless story. The timing of it is pointless. There can't be an investigation this late in the season. It will have no impact on the game.
All it was for SI to sell issues.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Ray will retire after the game. There will be no consequences whatsoever to him as a player, even if it's proven to be correct. So again, it's a horrible story, but again, it will be another rallying cry for the Ravens, another reason for them to rally around the fearless leader and bring the trophy back home to Baltimore again.
No doubt.